Welcome to the High Def Ninja Podcast, the official podcast of hidefninja.com.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Thank you. The one and only Kenzilla Tridon is back again.
Oh, why, you're welcome. Are you thanking me or the people listening?
That's a good question, man. Maybe they can thank us both, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that.
But today is a day where there's some sad news because the godfather of zombies, George Romero, has passed away.
Yes. Sad news. I just read that like 10 minutes before we talked.
Yep.
Yep.
Going to the afterlife.
The man who gave life to the living dead.
That's right. So he was 77 years old. At least he lived a pretty long life, I'd say.
Well, considering what he did in that 77 years, I mean, he lived 200 years of a regular person's life.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty true in itself. Yeah. Director of, obviously, the most infamous Night of the Living Dead, Survival of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Land of the Dead,
Dawn of the Dead,
Guys, Day of the Dead, Creep Show, Dawn of the Dead. Hey, he was even a director. Well, it looks like maybe he was just in O.J. Simpson Juice is on the Loose TV movie documentary. And that's before the murders because that's 1974. I might have to look that one up.
Oh, man, you're looking at some obscure stuff.
Right? And, oh, man, and what's crazy because, next year is the 50th anniversary for Night of the Living Dead.
That's right, yep.
Dang, why has it always got to happen like that, right?
It's strange. I mean, I think he was actually working on a new Up the Dead movie, too, something about politics or I don't know.
Yeah, and then just recently, Arrow announced the George Romero box set Between Night and Dawn limited edition.
Yes, coming to UK and North America.
Yep, October 23rd, 2017.
Mm-hmm. And I believe
Arrow's
on the same day.
Always so kind to send us some discs, so probably have that a little early.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, have to check that out.
But you got to wonder, like, him dying after all these announcements, it's very strange.
Well, that's what I was kind of hinting on with the whole 50th, is because it's like, think about all that's going to take place next year,
Yeah.
Like all the highlights and what have you. And it's like, that's what I'm saying. It always happens. He won't be here to see it, so.
Yeah, it's too bad.
And now, in those highlights is obviously going to be some homages to his life now as well. So,
yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, like, The Walking Dead is a big show on TV, and that wouldn't be around without his work. So,
for some of the more famous older creatives, like himself, the next one, this is so dear to your heart, buddy, is Stan Lee. And actually, his wife just recently passed away.
Yeah, she did. That's sad too, because I mean,
and Stan, oh man, that guy's a superhero in himself. He's like, what, I don't know, 95 or something?
I believe 94. And
turning 95, I believe.
I've met him a few times now, and the last few times he felt really frail when I was hugging him. So,
yeah, well, you hug so hard. I mean, it's like
it's true. I heard Nathan Fillion, man. Nathan Fillion hates me now.
Oh my God!
I was standing in line to meet him, and the guy, his little I don't know, slave dude, is walking around going, "Don't shake Nathan's hand. His hand hurts. He slept funny on it last night. Don't shake Nathan's hand." Right? So, and I get to the front of the line, and what do? I go right for the hand. I went right for the hand, and I gave him a good handshake. Oh man, he was in pain. He hated me.
It's kind of funny with the celebrities, and they say, don't do this, don't do that. When I met Stan Lee, it was actually at Albuquerque Comic-Con. Not that I lived in New Mexico, but and their thing was no pictures, no videos, no cameras.
Yeah.
And the room was like really darkly lit, and so I guess Stan didn't like bright lights at that point in time or something. And maybe it was more so because they were also charging for photographs later, I guess, maybe. So.
Oh, yeah, you got to pay for everything.
Yeah. But I had a camera that had like the strap around my neck type deal. And I was like, there ain't no way in hell I'm getting all these Steelbooks signed and I don't got any proof, you know? So I turned it on, video. And so it was just perfectly like hanging on my chest. And it's not like it had like a blinking red light or anything, you know? And yeah, I got it all recorded and it was pretty
Oh
sweet.
man, I love that story.
And the assistant, and yeah, I got it on our YouTube and he was like, "Oh, hidefninja, I love you guys." And that just kind of blew me away because I was like, wow, I didn't think that many people knew about us. But yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he wanted one of my Captain America Steelbooks, but it wasn't happening.
It wouldn't happen.
It's like with Carl Urban and at NYCC, I got the like 3 of the Dread Steelbooks signed, and I was giving one to Andy and one to Digital Babe. And same thing, he's like, "Oh man, like, can I have one of these?" And I was like, "Well, those 2 are for some other people." Like, they want to be the bearer of bad news here. Cut one out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "But I can get you one." You know, I was like, "Just, you know, give me some of your information, or here, take my business card." And he's like, "Oh, you got it at your hotel? We can meet up," which would have been cool as shit, obviously. But
just hang out with Carl Urban in your hotel.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't
Come
have
on,
any.
FedEx, get here quick.
Yeah, I didn't have any more. It was just more like I was actually gonna like order him one. You know. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome though.
Yeah, and believe it or not, joining us here pretty soon, I got Michael Madison, Mr. ColombianLove. And we will be talking about collectibles and toys.
You sounded pretty sensual when you said his name there. What was that about? Love.
You gotta bring it in just right, man. Yeah, you gotta bring it in just right.
For sure.
Well, Ken, I appreciate you jumping in on this one.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
gotta jump on over here and talk to Colombian.
Yeah, dude.
So here we are for the collectibles and toys segment of the podcast with our very special co-host, the Colombian with all the love, Mr. 41, ColombianLove 41, otherwise known as Michael Madison.
Thank you for that intro.
That's a pretty good lead. That's a pretty good lead up, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked it. It was, I felt like super special. Especially the special part. It kind of made me, give me a warm feeling inside.
You are the only one, man. The mainstay, also the guy who's been pumping out thousands of articles for years on the front page of hidefninja.com. That would be this guy right here.
It's true. I'm the Latino machine. I'm the Latino machine. It's true. I'm the Latino machine.
Yeah, man. Dude's always working. Well, so collectibles and toys. I know that's like your passion. Oh God, your hot toys are like insane. Every time I turn around, you're posting a new one. If not, you're at least showing the world, hey, what's coming.
I mean, it's it's an addiction. It's really bad how addicting like hot toys and 6-scale figures in general. I can't get away from them.
Well, I've done pretty good here recently, and it's kind of weird. I've got 6 scales on pre-order actually. So I'm over here telling you how I'm not buying them anymore, but yet I kind of am.
Like
so
secretly.
Maybe that's that hidden addiction you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, prior to these recent pre-orders, I'd been very good, and I hadn't had anything on pre-order for 6 scale since the Drax Guardians of the Galaxy, and I had that since like day one, so that's like damn near 2 years ago. And then I'd say earlier this year is when I put in an order for the hazmat suit, Jesse and Walt Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay.
And
by
also,
3-0, I think.
Yeah. I don't think I own any of theirs, so it'll be a first. And I'd always seen those customs people had done of that actual set, and so I always wanted it, but never forked out the big dollars for the customs. And so now I've been rewarded. And the other one I got on pre-order is the 1/6 scale John Ruth from The Hateful Eight, Kurt Russell. And that's just my Tarantino love, so I had to have it.
Yeah, that's a nice figure. Did you end up going with the other one, the Colonel? Oh my God, why can't
Samuel
I
L.
think of his name?
Jackson.
The
Yeah, I
Samuel L.
can't think of his
Jackson.
damn name right now either. Well, funny thing is that Raspor, if I'm pronouncing his name right, shout out to him. I'm sure he'll be listening to this. He's actually kept me in tune with those, and he showed me like their direct site, and they had that one, right, the Samuel L. Jackson, and he's like, hey, you know, like it's not anywhere else right now, but you can get it here. And I think it was actually on Big Bad Toy Store as well, but it's not on Sideshow. Well, then just the other day, I was like, okay, I had those other ones on Flex, so I was like pretty much done with them, just waiting on the last like shipping notice. And I was like, well, shoot, let me check out if that, you know, that Sam's up yet. It's not on Sideshow. So I go, oh, okay, well, let me hell, I just want to look at it again. So I went to the official site of I think they're called Asmus.
Asmus, yeah.
Toys.
I guess that's how you pronounce it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it might just be Asmus, but no. But so I went to their site and it's gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I almost wonder if like maybe they were, you know, because it was like obviously what do you call it, like licensing, you know, pending approval. Yeah. So maybe it didn't happen. Maybe the John Roof sales weren't as much as they wanted. You know, whatever the case may be. Or maybe it's a case of like pop culture shock toys and like Judge Dredd, you know, disappearing and it'll be back. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like what, like you were saying, the Drax you pre-ordered, I mean, that was a licensing nightmare that they just, you know, they had this one prototype they were kind of hauling around to toy fairs and whatever, and it just kept getting pushed back. And, you know, finally, what was it, last month or something, if it came out? And
yeah,
it was basically the same thing you saw as the prototype, but from what I understand, there was also a licensing issue. I think it was a couple years ago with Dave Bautista and WWF with his toys. So I don't know if there's something he has
a
in
very
his
interesting
contract,
subject on that one, because I'm kind of with you there where at first I thought, okay, it's something to do with that. I think I had heard something like that. And maybe in regards to, who knows, his likeness or something, but him not being happy, I don't know. But then what really throws me for the loop, though, and I kind of feel like maybe that just might be all, you know, hearsay and theories, is that when I got the toy, and I think you got him as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you look at them, like, they made, like, Drax separately. You know what I mean? Like, I thought they were going to just throw some damn, like, rubber stuff over the 1/6 scale body or something, you know, to be able to, like, easily mass produce it. No, I mean, that freaking body and everything is made for Drax. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing, maybe his hands, but like, you know, everything that you see, obviously.
He's a little taller too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he really is. Because I was sticking him in my little glass case and I'm like, this, you know, I was thinking this some bitch here. I was like, his freaking head's hitting the damn glass shelf. You know, I was like, this don't make sense. You know, he's 12 inches and I guess he's fucking a little bit more or something, but
yeah, I mean, you like you're saying, like if you look at his arms and his chest, like they had to design that so that if you move his arms, his shoulders don't have like a gap between those tattoos or brandings, like whatever they actually are,
scarring or something. Yeah,
but I mean, like you said, you can't. No other character has that.
So that's a good question. Is that branding? Is that scarring? Is that tattoos? Or did Drax come out of the wound like that? But you never know, right? With James Gunn's crazy characters, I mean, that might be what they all look like, right?
I mean, the comic book version, I can tell you, it's a branding. It's like a warrior type, like branding scarring that he has on his body.
Body art.
And he's in the comics, he's more green, but I guess they didn't do that to confuse him with like him and Gamora being from the same place or something like that. So I think that was just a change they did for the movie, but yeah, I don't know. Like you said, man, James Gunn, his imagination is kind of all over the place with stuff. So
oh yeah, absolutely.
You never know.
But yeah, that Drax is definitely separate. So going back to that, what I think may be more, you know, in the business world is that if you notice, it's like everyone knew after the first movie that Drax would be probably the least popular character as far as sales go on like a hot toy. And then I thought, well, maybe they're just trying to stretch it out. And like, sure enough, it just so magically happened that kind of right before all the, the pre-buzz hype and marketing for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, all of a sudden the pre-order came live again. And so what I'm guessing, is that now that they have this Drax body made, that it also allows them to do one for part 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because part 2 there hasn't been a Drax figure announced, right?
No.
Yeah.
They've shown a prototype of him and Gamora, but really the two of them just have different clothes on. I mean,
yeah. And so my thing is, from a manufacturing standpoint, it's like, oh, hey, if we postpone this long enough, then we can kind of get a better idea of sales. And then we also know, okay, well, let's get this many bodies made, and we'll roll that into making a version for part 2 as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I would do.
I didn't actually think about that. I mean, that does make sense.
It does, right? Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of thinking.
I mean, really, if they just re-released,
I hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, man, do that maniacal laugh again. I like it.
What are you talking about? That was a sound effect.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to hit the audience up with those.
Yeah, you never know, man. I heard you had a case of bad burritos here for lunch.
Oh man.
Iron Man maquette just got recently announced from Sideshow. I know drums all over it. What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah. I dig the maquettes. I don't personally collect them, but it depends on like who exactly is making them. Like, I like a lot of like the Sideshow statues.
Yeah, the premium formats.
Yeah, they're definitely getting into a lot more detailing and kind of taking suggestion from like fans and things like that. So I mean,
so here's a question for. Sorry to interrupt, but for the Maestro ColombianLove, I have seen this progression where a lot of people who start out collecting like 1/6 scale, they end up moving into like statues and premium formats, stuff like that. For instance, Drum. I don't know how many 1/6 scales he even owns left, but I know that he's pretty much, to my knowledge, moved solely into just like statues. So the question is, are you one of those guys where that's going to end up happening? Or, now I have seen some diehards who just stick to the action figures like no matter what. Are you that guy?
I'm thinking,
or is the jury still out?
No, I mean, if to answer it right now, I would probably say I would stick with 1/6 scale. Just because, like you were saying about like seeing photos and stuff that I put up. I mean, with the statue, to me, there's only so many pictures you can kind of take with that, where I feel like the 6 scale figures, because you can move them and they do have articulation, you can do some different type of photographs and stuff that, I might be like, oh, let me change this pose while he's in the case or something. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing I look for in a figure. So as of right now, I would probably say no, but there are a lot of statues that I've seen that I'm like, man, that looks really cool, Yeah,
especially for you. You go to like New York Comic Con almost every year, and you go to a lot of Comic Cons for that matter. So it's not like as if you haven't seen a statue up close and personal. I mean, you see them.
Yeah, I mean, my wife, she has, I think 2 or 3 statues, but the 2 that she has are the Black Cat and the Mary Jane from that J. Scott Campbell from Sideshow. And, I like those statues. They're really nice, and they're beautiful to just have out and whatnot, but I don't know. I just like the idea of, I'll be watching a movie, say downstairs and in my home theater, I look over at the case and I'm like, you know what? I think that would be kind of cool to move him this way, or, put Gamora in a stance that she's, listening to Star-Lord's headphones. And it's something that I can sit there and mess around with poses and be diverse of how I want to pose stuff. So
yeah, I think that's really cool. Because it's one of the things where like, well, that's what they're for, right? I mean, but, I mean, I don't know if I'm ashamed or I'm probably just actually fine to admit it that pretty much the pose I put them in day one, that's what they stay in. Like, you know what I mean? But don't get me wrong. I wish I would actually take the time and enjoy them more. Like with you, I feel like this guy's really enjoying them. You know what I mean? Like you're at least getting your money's worth. You know what I mean? Out of them, like getting to do things like that and do different poses. And that's kind of opened up a whole new avenue for some people. I've noticed like on Instagram and Facebook, there's a lot of people who are real big into toy photography. Heck, even Sideshow has posted some of their pictures and stuff on their official blog, you know? And I mean, you'll look at some of those pages and God, they might have like, 30,000 followers and all they're doing is literally like you're saying, just creating poses and taking pictures. That's it,
Yeah. I mean, for sure, I would say like my next, I guess you could call it like evolution into taking photos would probably be to do some stuff outside. I usually do stuff in the photo like box that I have and kind of, control the lighting that way. Right. I haven't done much stuff outside, but I'm also really weird about, I don't know if I want to take my Hot Toys out to say like the beach like that. To me, I've seen people do it and I'm like, that's insane. I'm like, how much sand, like I'll stare at the picture and I'm like, oh my God, how much sand is getting in that thing? It's like, all right, take the picture and put it back in the box quick. Like, yeah, I mean, that would definitely be the next move, but I just haven't done that yet. I'm
there's two things to touch on. And that's, one, I challenge you to get some outdoor shots by the end of the year. Okay. Especially because you get a lot of snow. So you got to figure something out with that. I think they'll be really cool, especially, and while the good weather is still out, soak something up with that because you'll be surprised the pictures will look like freaking amazing, with the natural lighting. And then two, since we're talking about sand and toys, not that we'll talk further about that, but the insanity level of that, we'll move right into what do you think about these guys who collect the Hot Toys who don't even open the freaking shipper box?
I think those people are crazy.
They're not resellers. These are like guys.
No, they just
like that's how they collect.
Yeah, and I get like you have that mentality. Like if you have an action figure from when you're younger, and they have like the bubble pack on the card and whatnot.
Yeah, the pristine card packaging.
Right. Yeah, and I got to put it up on the wall with a thumbtack or whatever, and like I get that, but your Hot Toy, I don't know. For some reason, I have that in my head that it's kind of meant to at least display in a case or something, like as to be out, and I know that they do a lot of like beautiful box work, but I mean, then just buy a box. Like,
well, no, but beyond that, I'm talking about there are people, and I've seen them who don't open the actual shipping box, the brown box.
Oh,
you seen that?
They're even more nuts. Well, I know people are crazy about those brown shippers.
I'll see that, and then they'll be like, and they'll take a picture, and it'll be all the brown shipping boxes, like the original, whatever tape, and I'm just like, dude, man, like, this is not some rare Nintendo game, fetching $300,000 or something,
Right.
I think with some of them, I mean, for instance, just look at the Marvel, look at the the DC. Like, if you think that we've seen the last Iron Man, you know what I mean? No, obviously they have many suits for that, so at least there's a reason. Yeah. But if you think you've seen the last whatever Ant-Man or Drax, you know what I mean? You haven't, Right. And even with the other Iron Mans, like a Mark IV, you know what I mean, or a Mark III,
right?
Like if a couple of years went by and the prices went up on those, people thought, oh man, like, dude, I still got a Mark IV in the box, yada yada yada. Well, then they just go ahead and make another Mark IV. So it's like
that's what happens.
They're just gonna keep doing that. I mean, so it's kind of like so, it's like it's so rare that you're gonna have. I mean, like something maybe like a Jack Nicholson Joker, you might get lucky. You know what I mean? They don't print another one for like a real long time or make one. But it's not out of the question. I mean, like they just go and get another license, do another pose or whatever, and now you got another one. So it's like these things are expensive as it is. Take them out of the box, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to play with them, like, and make all these cool poses once in a while like you do, hey, man, just be a lame like me and just put them in one pose and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying about like re-releasing an Iron Man, they just did, not just did, but they announced that they're making another Mark V from Iron Man 2. And the Mark V was the briefcase suit. And what they did is they're doing it in diecast. Obviously it's going to be a little heavier, bulkier, but a lot of the paint work will be more true to what it looked like in the movies. And just, painting metal and painting plastic, you're not going to, even if you use like a very good paint, you're still not going to get the same kind of finish or look to it. But the other thing that they did is they adjusted the size. Apparently the Mark V originally was however many centimeters too short. So if you put it next to a lot of other 6-scale figures, it looks small. It wasn't right to scale. So you have this better figure that they're about to come out with, and people are trying to sell like these older plastic figures that some people are like, nah, man. I mean, I get that it's the original version, but you could pay $300, $400 for a figure that is going to be, more accurate, truer to scale. It's got like a newer head sculpt on it. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you'll see. And some people, like the people that try to get, like say a celebrity died, like you saw this with Princess Leia and Carrie Fisher passing away. Mm-hmm. And people were just trying to be like, oh, I have this Princess Leia, which was, I think, $200. I'm selling her for $600. And people are like, you're out of your mind. Like, I get that when things, heat up in the market or whatever, but it's like you're supposed to be part of a community and kind of help other people out, not just kind of, rake somebody over the coals and, jab them for their money. I don't know. I don't know how, like, I twisted it back, getting into that, but it's just, I don't know. That's one of those things that bothers me.
Oh yeah, we see it all the time, especially when celebrities die.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure the Adam West Batman's probably went up.
Exactly. Like that was a figure I feel like Sideshow for a while like couldn't give away, and it was just it was something you could get for the longest time. And then there was an uptick in the Batman series when the Blu-rays came out, and they have released the series out on home video, and all of a sudden those things started selling. And now you can't find them for, I think, less than like $400.
Wow.
So, and like I said, it's like a, 100% markup for something that just because, it was unfortunate that a celebrity died, but people are trying to, make a buck.
Cash in.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, so
that can definitely happen. Speaking on Adam West, I mean, rest in peace, but, they did a art print, with the old Batman and Robin on Sideshow, and man, I watched a few of the old Batman, but I'm not like a real big fan to it or anything, But that art print just looks amazing, and I keep turning back to it, and I'm like, no, you don't need that, But I keep looking at it. I mean, it's definitely one to just even go to their site and just check out. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's something, with definitely with Sideshow. They're really stepping it up with the art prints that they're getting into.
Mm-hmm, they really are.
At first, it was more like, I think they were just taking some concept art and then kind of twisting it into an art print. But now, I mean, they just put up this Harley Quinn that looks, it even if you don't like the movie, the character, whatever, it's a very, very beautiful print. So
I'll have to check that one out, because I only know of, I know think they've done a few, but I only know of one.
I mean,
one of them,
like
at
the
least
last
one stands
week.
out in my mind, and I really don't care for that one, but I don't think that's probably the one you're referencing.
Right. Well, I mean, like, even in the last week, they put out they're releasing an Adam Hughes print with oh my god, with Ray, and in the background
for San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah,
you talking about that exclusive there?
Yeah.
Yep. And then the Wonder Woman, oh my god, that they did a few weeks back. That's just amazing. I think that's probably one of the best ones they've done to date. And I do like the Wolverine and Hulk one that they did, in regards to, I think it's the maquette. So
yeah, I mean they're stepping it up.
Yeah, not a whole lot of at least artists that are gained notoriety from Mondo have been doing much of their prints. I know in the past they used Tom Whalen a lot for most of their Disney stuff.
Right.
And then I did see though that Matt Ryan Tobin. He, what did he do? Freddy, and he just did, I think it's a Leatherface, which I was checking that out because I actually do have that's the only statue I have on order right now is the Leatherface premium format.
Oh, and, man, that looks nasty. I like that, though.
Dude, it does.
Cool.
What really got me is also, like, if you go to, like, scroll down, look at how big that thing is. Look at the size. I mean, it's, like, damn near going to be as big as a freaking Legendary scale. I mean, it's freaking huge, dude. Or it's definitely, like, it's a premium format, but it's, like, bigger than, like, my Hulk maquette, or just as big. That's what it was. Yeah. And,
okay. So,
yeah,
what, like,
not a Legendary scale, but like a maquette. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's freaking huge because it has a humongous base to it. And I mean, I like horrors. I'm not a humongous horror fan, so it's not like I have 20 horror statues or nothing. But to me, it's just like something about, obviously being from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It always resonates with me. Right. I used to think that when growing up, I thought that was a real true story, Right. And there's, so many things about that. And, anyway, I just thought, man, this is a great, centerpiece for Halloween. Cause the last couple of years, when Halloween rolls around, I actually like kind of decorate our mantle and kind of go all out with like all this like scary crap on it, Yeah. And I just thought, oh yeah, we're going to have Leatherface in the middle this year, baby.
Yeah. And I mean, like you were saying, that base.
My wife's going to kill me. My wife hates horror movies. Like, it's hard to get her to even like watch something suspenseful. Like, and even if we're watching a movie and it's like a thriller or suspense, and or maybe not even those, but it just starts to feel like that. Right. There's times where she's like, "Nah, I don't want to watch this. This is a scary movie." I'm like, "This is not a scary movie," I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, this is hilarious. Look how we're just moving right into this. The Girl on the Train.
Okay.
You seen that movie?
Yeah. Yeah,
I have a loss for her name right now, but she's from Edge of Darkness. God, what?
You
not Edge of Darkness? What was it called? Edge of Tomorrow.
You're talking about Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt. Yep, there you go. So Emily Blunt's in that, right? The Girl on the Train. Well, when you put the Girl on the Train in, and it goes to the little menu screen, it's got some like pretty like creepy score to it.
It's the like creepy ass piano music that it has.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's like doing this like weird these cuts and stuff from these different views, and man, I just had it like sitting on that. I think we were like, I don't know, preparing dinner or something. And I'm like, yeah, I got a movie for us we can watch, And then like we go and sit down and like, man, she just heard that. And she's like, nope, take it out. Not watching that. I'm like, no, like I don't think it's that scary. Nope, not watching it. So like, okay. So we didn't watch that. We watched something else. And then I think like the next day I watched that on my own. And then I was like, wow. Like, cause at the time I didn't know if, okay, maybe this movie is kind of scary or something to it. I don't know. I hadn't watched it yet. And then I watched it. I'm like, there's nothing scary about that movie.
No,
like,
dude.
Like that menu screen might have like seemed like eerie, but you would have been perfectly fine with that movie.
Yeah. I mean, the scariest thing about it is thinking about some drunk lady coming in your house. I mean, that's,
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a good little movie though. It's a little gem.
Yeah. And you could
You can
check out my review on hidefninja.com.
I had a feeling you might have been the one who reviewed it, but I was like, I don't want to say if you didn't.
No, it's cool, man.
Yeah. I should just go ahead and say it, right? Because there's always like a 75, 85% chance that you're the one who reviewed it.
That's true.
Yeah. Got a couple ones sitting over here right now for you to send your way.
Send them, man. Send them.
Yeah. Moving back into toys and collectibles, you having been to Toy Fair, that was like this past year, right? It wasn't earlier this year, right?
No, it was earlier this year. It was February.
It was. Yeah. Okay, well, damn. Man, time's flying by.
This year has been like crazy. So yeah.
So having been to places like Toy Fair, meeting up with did you meet up with Quantum Mechanics?
Met up with Quantum Mechanics, Entertainment Earth, and
I know you did Funko.
Some people,
right?
Funko. Yep. I love them over there. I mean, they're just awesome people. Actually, all of the vendors that I met this year are just great, like very gracious people. They appreciate to have good communication, and it was a good time. It was a really good show.
Yeah,
for sure.
So with that, I wanted to ask you, I've noticed that Quantum Mechanics looks like they're doing like a little series of these, like, they look like Funkos, but they also have like a base to them, you know, and they're a little bigger, obviously, you know, and they look, they look more like an actual sculpt and detailed, you know, than something.
Yeah, they're called Q-Figs.
Okay, yeah. So what do you think of those? I mean, the Daredevil looks pretty hot.
Well, actually, as soon as I went to Quantum Mechanics, their booth, and I came home, I think we have like 4 or 5 of them now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I love them. I think they're really nice. It's
holy crap, they're only $15.
Yeah, $15-$20. I think the most expensive one they have a Wonder Woman that I think they're calling it like a Q-Fig Deluxe. It's like $30, and it's Wonder Woman on her horse, and it's really nice, and they're very inexpensive, but there's a lot of, you know, detail and things going on in there. It's very stylized artwork, but it's like taking the best part of, say, like a Funko vinyl and kind of putting it in like a pose. Yeah. So you're getting like these are
new to me, so I'm not trying to like shamelessly shill or nothing. I was looking at the forums here, and I saw that diorama one. It says that's 4.5 inches tall.
Yeah, I mean they have
details priced at $14.95. Yeah,
that one. They a lot of their stuff they do exclusives with Loot Crate. So I think every other month or every couple months, Loot Crate gets these exclusive versions of them, and then, you know, you can get them on Quantum Mechanics site or what have you. And these little figures are just cool. They're small, but there's a lot going on with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anybody that if you collect Funkos or like small vinyl figures or like specialized art like that, or specialized stylized art like that, it's an easy pickup. I mean, for $20, you get like a really cool little figure.
The little figures are obviously hot right now. Obviously, the Funko, you know, really leading the charge. And I like the Jada Toys, the the metal diecast ones.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, especially for like people in, you know, in the UK or you know, other areas of the world where, you know, the housing is not as big, and it's like they can't just have, you know, a bajillion humongous statues or something, you know. So it's like these little versions, you know, have been very, very, you know, sought after, and I think they look great when put in people's like media racks and stuff. I know the King of Queens, you know, he's got some pops and stuff, like, you know, mixed in with his Blu-rays, things like that, and they can make him look like, I'm not even like, I got so lucky, and for some reason pops don't really appeal to me. So I never really, I've got a few, you know, maybe I got like, I don't know, 5, you know, but I guess it's just the eyes and stuff. It's like certain things look cute to certain people, and for some others they don't, you know. It's like they don't do much for me. I like the Hot Toys Cos Babies.
Oh yeah, they're
cool.
So
those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I like, you know, the weight and the metal of like the metal diecast, but the pops, for some reason though, it's like they actually do appeal to me and look really damn good when I see them like on media racks and stuff. When I see all the Blu-rays, and then it's like, oh, you know, and here's Leatherface next to the Chainsaw Massacre Blu-ray or something. Like they work in really well.
Well, it's like you were talking about the smaller housing. One of the guys on hidefninja, Kui, every once in a while I send him these small vinyl figures, just because, like, I sent him like a bloody Ash from the Evil Dead or Army. It was either the Evil Dead or Army of Darkness. Or I sent him this little Iron Man, and he puts him around his desk. So, you know, cool. It's exactly what you're saying. Like, I know he doesn't have like this, you know, immense amount of space to get into that kind of collectible stuff, because that stuff can really add up. I think
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, he kind of sounds familiar, that guy.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, he actually used to have like tons of freaking like really big, you know, like statues and, you know, like almost like 1/1 scale props and things like that. You know, he had a lot of that stuff back in the day. So he's made the right moves. Like, don't go down the hole, man.
Yeah, dude.
Don't come back to the dark side.
He climbed himself out, so he's good now.
Yeah. But yeah, the small stuff's really hot.
They're really cool.
They don't have like the greatest detail. Some of them look better than others. That's for damn sure. Some of them look absolutely horrible. But the Jada Toys came out with these like nano figs, and they're 97 cents at Walmart. And they're metal. They're very small, obviously. But man, they're just too damn cool. And I got a few of those. Actually, I posted that picture the other day on my IG. That's what that was. I should have done a post shot of one of them. Yeah, because they're all metal, so they're pretty cool. I thought these might be kind of cool. Just throw on the media rack, you know.
Yeah.
And but like there's some where like most all the Harley Quinns, it was just that like, you know, iconic comic book pose. But like almost all of them, like the she had cross eyes, and I was like, yeah, it's not cutting it, man, you know. And like some of the Spider-Mans too, so I was like, that's why I say like some of them didn't look good, but some of them looked like pretty sharp, especially like the Iron Man, you know, and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, some of the cooler, you know, little figs, like a lot of my Instagram photos, I use as what I like to, you know, I call them like my watermark. So like I'll always have like a Joker figure somewhere in the picture, or
yeah, it's definitely cool. It's
just something that, you know, in case somebody ever uses my photo or something, I'm like, well, I know that's my picture because that's my Joker. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, yeah,
that's what I do.
But speaking of funny like picture watermarks, Rose Art always puts a like a rock, a little small rock, and it's a round rock. Well, he lives in Round Rock, Texas. But it's always the same little round rock, you know. Right. I always thought that was funny. So
yeah, I never noticed that. I have to check it out because I used to get some like movies from him from time to time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's still active, but he's a little quiet now. Yeah,
that's cool. I never even realized that.
Mm-hmm. So, a couple more questions I got for you here.
Yeah,
what are you most hyped about that's coming out? Like that's, you know, it's not out yet. Maybe it's up for pre-order, or maybe it's something you know about in collectibles.
Probably
what are you hyped about?
The two biggest things just at the moment would be they just announced yesterday they're releasing a new Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. Hot Toys is.
Okay. Yep, I saw those pictures.
That I pre-ordered it like immediately. And then the other thing would be there's Hot Toys is also releasing the Arkham Knight from the video game.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have a little thing that I've been doing that I have like a Batman figure and a Joker figure that always go together. So like I have the two Sideshow ones. I have the Heath Ledger and Christian Bale. You know, Ben Affleck and Jared Leto. So I wanted to, with some of the Batman collection I have, I'm going to add the Arkham Knight to that. So I'm really hyped about probably those two figures the most. I really wish they would just kind of release already. Or, you know, actually, I'm kind of excited to get my Jin Urso. That got pushed back at least another month. What's that?
Oh, I was just saying, like that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. The 6-scale Jin Urso deluxe version. I mean, that thing looks awesome. So I really can't wait to get that. Actually, yeah, I'll stick with those because if I keep sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, oh no, wait, let me change my answer. But yeah, those are probably
video games can definitely, at least like I've noticed, is that if you get into a good video game, then all of a sudden it's like you want something to represent that time. Because you know how it is, like there's so many like different, you know, sequels and stuff to come to the games. So it's like, how do you look back on, you know, some people will go back and play the games, but that's, you know, I don't have time for that, you know. But for instance, like I spent a lot of time on Call of Duty World at War, you know, playing the zombies and all that stuff back in the days. And it's like, I don't have the game anymore, but I like to look back and go, man, that was fun time killing all them damn zombies. We used to have so many zombie sessions, man, on the PS3. And but I have a little NECA you know, World at War figure where he's like shooting a flamethrower, you know. And so sometimes like I notice that, you know, when you spend a lot of time in a game, so like a Batman Arkham Knight, you know, I'm sure you played the heck out of it, then it's like now you gravitate to, I want that figure so bad. Holy shit, it's badass, you know, because of the time I spent on that game. That's how I am with Uncharted, you know.
Well, that's me with BioShock probably. But the thing is that aside from the smaller toys that they made, like they never really made anything. Like
that can be a problem. Yeah,
that would be something if Sideshow made a premium format of that. I could tell of like a Big Daddy or something sold. I would instantly pre-order it.
I wonder if Triforce. I thought Triforce may have had BioShock license for a while.
They have like there's a couple of little figures. And I'm not really sure what scale they're in. But I just mean like a nice detailed statue type thing. You know, like even Funko released. Like I have the Funko Big Daddy and like the Songbird from BioShock.
I've seen those
Infinite.
Funko ones.
Yeah, like I have those, but just if I had like a dope statue that was like you know that Leatherface, like 30 inches tall.
Oh yeah,
that thing would
absolutely.
be like that would be like the prize of my collection probably.
That'd be pretty sweet.
So that's one of those things.
Yeah. So with Triforce, touching on that, so they did the Battlefield 1 collector's edition. So like the statue that came with it. So I have that one, and I was actually really taken back by the quality. I was like, holy crap! Like, and it's a decent size as well, and it like lights up, but yeah, it was nice piece. I didn't think it would be that big for those collector editions, but if everything keeps coming out that big, I can understand the price point. I was able to get it on like some sale though, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like the new Assassin's Creed Origins, it's coming out. There's what is it? It's like $220 or $250 because it comes with like there's a Steelbook, there's like there's a statue in it, art cards, DLC. Like this thing has probably everything that they're licensing for this game, and they're just like throwing it in this box. And
then, you know how it is. Well, I won't say that because sometimes those things do sell out, and that's it. But other times they don't, and next thing you know, they are getting discounted. So it's kind of like, and that happens a lot of time. I mean, so a lot of times it's just better to wait it out. I mean, besides like with Call of Duty stuff, it usually always sells out.
Oh yeah, like with my Halo Reach McFarlane statue with the whole team that came with the one video game version. I ended up getting that. I think it was like $30. Because I bought just the regular version of the game, and then however many, months down the line, GameStop was like, we have a bunch of these huge ass boxes, and they discounted them down to like, next to nothing. So I still, what I paid for the game plus the price of the statue was still cheaper than buying it together when it first released.
Jeez. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, sometimes if you wait, you'll see something like that,
Right. So you kind of mentioned there, you said that if you did have yourself a big old premium format, Big Daddy, that'd be the prize of your collection.
Yeah.
So the question is now, what is currently the prize of your collection?
I would either say the Nightmare Batman that I have from Batman v Superman. With him in like the trench coat and like the fatigues and everything.
That one, okay, yeah.
It's such a beautiful figure. It would either be a tie between probably that one or there's a War Machine from Iron Man 2 that's a diecast version. I don't
have any of the diecast ones. I wish I had one, but I don't have any of the diecast ones.
That thing, first of all, that thing is heavy as hell.
Oh, I bet I have the plastic, the War Machine one for like the milk version or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's badass. So I can just imagine that thing being all metal. Holy moly!
Yeah, the diecast. I mean, it's heavy, but it that it is one of the most posable pieces that I have. Out of like most of the Iron Man that I have, so it would be a cross between those two. They're the ones that I'm constantly like, man, I am so glad I got this.
Right.
So for sure. Yeah.
What are your, well, real quick on that Nightmare Batman, they actually have a nano fig at Walmart, 97 cents of that version.
Hey man, I'm going to Walmart tomorrow, so I might
have to go dig it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
like, baby, we got to go to the toy section.
Yeah. Rex sold me on something.
Yeah, man. No. 97 cents.
Like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Give her the price up front. But look, it's
How
under
many
a
toys
buck.
do you hear about for under $1?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Come on, sold.
Exactly.
But yeah, for sure. The Nightmare Batman. He's sold out fast, but it's definitely, if somebody you can get him like secondhand somewhere, it's worth it.
Damn.
To anybody that does hot toys, for sure.
That's slick. So, for people who are the uninitiated, ISO means in search of. So, whether you can wheel and deal and get one or not, what is your number one ISO?
I would
Anything
say
out there that eluded the famous ColombianLove?
there was one, and it's actually a figure you can still buy, but I just never pulled the trigger on it. Is the Iron Man Star Boost? It's that white version from Iron Man 3. It was a part of the House Party Protocol. It was in the background, but it's like a white and gold spacesuit. It's just one of those Iron Man suits that I was completely taken by, but I had only just gotten into the collectibles like realm.
Gotcha.
When it first came out, and I wasn't really sure if it was something I was going to stick with. And now I go in Big Bad Toy Store and I'm like, it still says it's in stock. Oh man, it's still in stock. And then I'm like, no, can't do it. Nope, not today. Don't have the money today.
I don't blame you, man.
It's like
I'm so glad I didn't go down the path of all those different suits. But you've bought quite a few of the different suits, right?
Yeah, I have like my own House Party Protocol going on, dude.
Okay,
it's rough. Like I actually, my wife and I were just talking about it today. She's like, "So, are you gonna like keep buying Iron Man, or like what's the I think you have enough of them." And I was like, "Well, I think I'm kind of moving into Stormtroopers." She's like, "That's kind of the same thing," and I'm like, "All right, So, yeah.
That you're absolutely right. That is kind of the same thing, right? It's like endless. It's funny you even mentioned Stormtroopers, but there's these like, God, I can't think of the damn name of the brand, but they're like the kids' toys, like really, really like the kids' toys. Like the ones that are like toddlers and stuff, but they got they'll do like license of like Ninja Turtles or Star Wars, and they had these two little small they got like a Yoda and Luke and Darth, and they have like a Stormtrooper, and I think that might be the only like 4 they got. But we're at the grocery store, and so to shut my son up, I'm like, yeah, you can get one, and no, I said you can get 2 of those. So he grabs a Stormtrooper, and then he's like, he grabs 2 Stormtroopers, and I'm like, no, you need to like get someone different, like, and he's like who? And I'm like, here, like take Darth Vader, take these 2. He's like, okay. And like that lasted a few seconds. And then it was like, nah, I want something different. So I'm like, okay, well, here's Luke or here's Yoda. And I think I got him to pick Luke. And and no, he ended up grabbing Vader again. And so we had Vader and the Stormtrooper. We throw him in the basket. We get off the aisle. Next thing you know, he freaking beelines it back to that aisle with Vader in hand, puts him up, comes back with another Stormtrooper. The 2 of the exact same Stormtrooper, and I'm just like, look, man, if I'm buying this, you don't need 2 of these guys. But then in my mind, I'm thinking like, this guy's over here trying to build himself a little Stormtrooper army.
Yeah, man. You can't just have like one Stormtrooper.
Yeah. So I finally just gave in. I said, all right, fine, But it was funny because he's like, yeah, well, this is the bad Stormtrooper and this is the good Stormtrooper. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Those guys are both bad guys. Well, then he was sure to let me know how it works, because then he's like, no, because this one, he takes his mask off and he's a good guy. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I was like, he must have seen one of the movies in the background playing.
Man, I was like, he just like out-nerded you.
Yeah, he did. Like he knew what he was doing. So I was like, okay, yeah, you got me, dude.
He's like, Dad, come on, this is Finn. Yeah. What's the matter with you? Go watch the movie.
So I was like, damn. It's like, he got me. So that's my little Stormtrooper comment.
Awesome, I like that. But yeah, for sure. Like it's Stormtroopers they're another thing. It's rough. Like
man. You got to stop the protocol, House Party Protocol. Yep. You got to stop the Stormtroopers, and man, you're gonna have a very diverse collection.
Yeah,
then.
Man, I got to branch out. I got to branch out.
Oh man, I hear you though. We all got that. my top ISOs are actually statues, and I don't know when I'll ever get them, just because it's one of them deals where, like, even if I see it pop up, do I really want to fork over the money? You know what I mean? You got to get me at the right time. And those are the Jessica Rabbit Sideshow statue. And that's kind of when I was actually first just getting into, I think I may have had one statue on order at the time. Like my first statue was coming or something. And I was like, oh, I like that one. But then I never pulled the trigger on it. And then to this day, my wife's like, you're an idiot. You know, that's because it's like, you know, not many times would she give me a pass to get a statue, but it was like, she was fine with me getting, you know, that at the time. But, you know, when you got other stuff in order, you're like, yeah, gotta wait. And boom, it was gone. Yeah. And then the other one is the 1989 Batman Michael Keaton, where he's like going down the stairs.
Oh, the other
drums got that one
with like the bats and
yeah. And same thing. It's like, God, I had a chance. I'm really hoping that that's where the story ends. And because it's like I've passed up on the Heath Ledger Joker premium format statue, because I just do not like that pose whatsoever. And in my mind, I'm like, hey man, there's too much damn money to be made on the Joker and on Heath Ledger statues. So it's kind of like, if they've done one, we're gonna see more. And so I could obviously be totally wrong and be pissed, you know, here in about a year from now.
Right. Like, where's the new statue?
Yeah, but I don't want to have to dick with trying to freaking, you know, sell off one. And you know how it is, dude, man. You get, well, you've seen them. It's like you get a new one in, and it's damn near like a fucking orgasm. Or nerdgasm. So you're just like, oh, I love it. So I'm sure that, like, even though I hate that pose, if I had that Joker come to my house and I opened it up and I set it up, I'd be like, oh, it's freaking amazing.
Right.
And then it'd probably never leave anyways. So, you know, and statues are big, so it takes up a lot of space. So I've only got space for a few more. And so it's like, I'm trying to be selective, you know.
That's that's the one where he's in like that forward leaning pose, right?
Yeah. And he's holding up his own like card, you know? Yeah. I don't know, man. God, I just don't like that pose. I don't like him holding up a card is what it is. I don't like that.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah. The switch out hand is the other hand, where it's like either like a detonator or the gun. Right. You know, if it had been the other hand, I probably, you know, switched out to something else. I would have probably been all over it. Yeah. And then, but the Batman that actually matches it, you know, that goes against him, is actually a damn good Batman. And actually, a couple months ago, I was like, well, you know what? Let me check out the Batman again. Maybe I'll just buy the Batman now.
That's
and then,
why
of course, it's sold out.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, I guess I ain't getting that one, you know, because like, shit, I ain't trying to freaking deal with after costs.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's the one thing. I don't think there's maybe like one or two Hot Toys that I've gotten into that I've bought like secondhand or from somebody. I'm like really scared to, you know, pay, even if it's like a great price. I'm scared to pay somebody for a figure because, you know, people treat their figures differently, and, you know, if somebody, you know, overworks a, you know, a leg joint or something, and that he's not going to stand. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think buying on a forum community though actually might be a little safer in that if they're not a noob, you know what I mean? If they've like they're around that community for a while, so you know if this guy's a guy who likes to pose them, or if all he does is does something like me, where all he does is take it out the box, put it in one pose, and that's it.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You would totally be the ideal person to buy.
I'm the ideal candidate to buy from, right?
Yeah. I'd be like, it moved once. Yeah. I can actually attest for that. You know what I mean?
The worst thing we got to deal with is getting the dust off.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. But yeah, man. The other I wanted to mention to you, because I know you said you hadn't been on Sideshow today, but they announced two other figures today that are, you know, kind of cool. It's going to be their first Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. figure, which is Ghost Rider, the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. Hey, he looks so badass, dude. It just looks good. It's like greatly priced. I think it's like $229 or something like that. Like it's not crazy expensive. And then the other one is they're now doing the armored Batman from Batman v Superman, but it's the battle damage version. So like, you know, half of his mask is ripped off, and, you know, he's got like Superman punch dents in his chest, and he comes with the spear. So, I mean, for like people that missed the other one, or if they were like waiting for this, because you could get the head and spear in like some other like aftermarket places or something like that. But it just wasn't something they included with the original figure. So that was two things that they announced today. But that Ghost Rider, I think I'm going to have to pick up, man, because it's just such a cool looking figure.
I'll have to check that one out. I actually was always a big fan of Ghost Rider comics. I didn't read a whole lot of comics growing up, but there's a few that when I did get into it for a while that I was pretty heavy into. I wasn't heavy into Ghost Rider, but I always loved the character. I was heavy into Wolverine, Savage Dragon, and a little bit of Spider-Man. But the ones that, like, you know, the ones that you carry on and you're like, you know, you got fanboyism behind it for me are Savage Dragon and Wolverine. That's actually why I was pretty excited to see that Jock is actually going to be doing a Savage Dragon comic book coming up. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he announced that. So I'm thinking, whoa, that's a great pairing because I like Jock and for his art, and he's an awesome dude. And then he's doing Savage Dragon, like blast from my past. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm looking at their page here, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that Ghost Rider. Yeah, that is a mean looking son bitch. Yeah.
It's, you know, and I definitely dig, Sideshow has one up for pre-order. It's their version of Ghost Rider. It's the Johnny Blaze. And the line that he comes from is more of like a comic book based figure. So they have like a Punisher, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, and a Deadpool, and a Wolverine. So they're more based on like, they're very comic book looking. And between the two though, that Robbie Reyes, man, you know, plus he's Latino, so I gotta back him up there.
There you
go.
You
know what I mean? I'm the Latino machine. It's true.
A lot of guys, what I've noticed, and this just shows you how different it is. So me, I'd say 99% of the time, I don't care to own like any of the like the classic comic book figures or statues. However, I've seen that a lot of guys are the complete opposite, and I think that's just because maybe they have a stronger like comic book background, but they'll only want to buy the statues of the comic book ones. You know what I mean? You know, the take on, say, comic book Spider-Man, comic book, you know, Wolverine, et cetera, et cetera. And I kind of get the mind frame of that. I mean, if it appeals to you, great. And then the second thing is that, hey, you're spending this much money on these big statues or whatever, and at least you have one that's iconic. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like 10 years from now, it's still going to be worth money to a lot of different people because that's what they're after. You know, the original comic book stuff, not the spin of, say, just a different, I don't know, artist put on it, you know, or even the movie takes, a lot of times those aren't, you know, as popular. I mean, unless they, you know, have the great hype buzz behind them, you know. But for me, just coming from the whole like love of movie background, I'm all about the movie versions.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at my collection, and I think I only have like 3 figures that aren't based on movies. It's the Hot Toys Crow, and then the 2 Sideshow Batman and Joker that I have. Like everything else is, you know, it's completely, you know, based on the MCU or, you know, DC. So I get that. And if you get like a really nice statue that's based on comic book art, like some of the Jim Lee, like I'm a fan of Jim Lee's art. You have like a Jim Lee Batman statue or something. I'm like, those are really cool.
Yeah.
Cause you know him from the comics, but some stuff it's like, I'm more into like the movie version type stuff.
Like I have no interest ever in owning the brown version suit of Wolverine.
Okay. It's like the 80s version.
Yeah. And it's like, there's been some awesome statues, but it's like, just can't ever do it. I'm always wanting the yellow and blue. That's why I jumped so hard on the legendary scale Wolverine, was because it had like from the cartoon, you know, version that I grew up with.
Right.
And that's how it all is. Everything ties back to nostalgia.
Well, it's, you know, you've seen it. Well, I've seen a lot of people do customs of some of the Batman the animated series figures. And for me, like if somebody did like a really nice 6 scale and, you know, released it at a decent price or even did a custom at a decent price, I would probably pick that up because I watch that show every day after school.
Right.
So
right.
that is something like you're saying with the Wolverine that totally hits home for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Wolverine and Batman came on around the same time. Definitely, the same time of day, like right after school.
Yeah. It's funny. I need to go back and watch that. Everyone claims like that Batman animated series was like a freaking masterpiece. That's how that's how I like take it from them. But I really never watched any of that. So
it's on Amazon.
I got
Prime,
a lot
dude.
to catch up with. Then okay, sweet, got that.
I mean, with that, like, I just did that review for the Funko Batman the Animated Series subscription box that they just released.
Wow.
And I was just completely gushing over that Mr. Freeze pop that they included. Like, it's perfect. There's absolutely nothing I can fault that pop for at all. It completely captured right out of the animated series, that kit figure. So, yeah, it was good. It's really good shit, man. Sweet. For sure.
Well, Michael, we are just about to hit the 1 hour mark into this. This was supposed to be a 15-minute segment of the podcast. So we'll have to see if it gets chopped up or if I just say, you know what, this is just going to be an episode all on its own. So we'll see. But with that, man, I appreciate you taking the time and jumping in on here, and all the listeners just need to understand that you're going to hear a whole lot more of the Colombian love, Mr. Michael
Thanks
Madison.
For having me, dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Have to get you in on some sessions here with Ken and talk some movies, talk front page news and all that good stuff that you're always, taking part in.
Hey, I can talk that stuff all day long, man. I'm the Latino machine. It's true.